break this trade down for you guys so that you can see what I was seeing on the charts. So let's delete all of this analysis. Let's delete all of that so that you guys can see. Now, if we go into the higher time frames, right, what could we see on the higher time frames? We were downtrending because of this breakout over here. So price was already breaking out, right? For all of you price action guys, we already know, or we were anticipating price, or we are still anticipating price to come here, to this area down here, right? So that being the case, we are seeing that we are in an overall downtrend, right? So what was price actually doing over here? Price was coming back to retest this trend line over here, even though I don't usually trade trend lines, but it was what was going on. So we go down onto the lower time frames, right? I couldn't really see anything on the H1 up until I got all the way down to the 15-minute time frame. Now, to all of those that know how I trade, right, you need to understand market structure. That's the first thing you need to understand. So what was price doing over here? As price is selling, if you know about your basic market structure, for a selling market structure, you have lower high, lower low, 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 lower high. But when price wanted to make a lower low, what did it do? It came and it broke this area over here. This was the first thing that gave us confirmation for our trade, right? Market structure. When you see this happening, right, we are now anticipating price to make a shape for liquidity. For people that know how I trade, especially my students, you know about liquidity, right? So price came over here, made this what we call a liquidity sweep, right? You see that it swept, right? And what did price come and do? It broke structure. So let me mark all of this out for you guys so that you can see for yourselves. It came and swept. It broke structure over here, right? Came and it broke structure. Right over there. Price came and it broke structure. Now, after it breaks structure, what we want to see price do is buy back into an area and create what we call structural liquidity. So price came all the way over here and it broke this structure over here and it made structural liquidity. How is structural liquidity created? You pull out your Fibonacci tool. I'm sorry for those who don't understand, but I can't necessarily explain this to total beginners. If you are a total beginner, you need to learn trading from scratch. Don't worry, I have you. But this is for those who are intermediate and above. This is my strategy over here. So when price breaks above the 50% zone and above, right, that creates our structural liquidity. So price came over here, made structural liquidity. This is very important for you to understand. Price starts to sell, breaks the structure over here, if you guys can see. Another break of structure. Now price is starting to look like it's selling again, but that's all manipulation, because this move over here is all, this whole thing over here is liquidity collection. You should never be played around with when this starts to happen. You should be able to anticipate price making this movement, right? So price does this sweep, break of structure, structural liquidity, break of structure. What we want to see price do is we want to see it buy all the way back up from here, from its break of structure, want to see it buy all the way back up and sweep, right? To sweep is to break structure, right? But when it's sweeping, it's taking out liquidity. So what we wanted it to do is to come and take out this structural liquidity into our what we call our point of interest. Very important, because that's where all of the liquidity is being collected, in our point of interest. Our point of interest is where this sweep happened over here. This sweep, the order block that failed, right? Where the sweep is, right? So now we see price coming into this area. What do we anticipate when price comes in here? I want you guys to notice what happened when price came in here, right? Before we go, we have what we call a protected high. Very important for you to understand that area over there. We don't want to see price breaking that, because if price breaks this area over here, it becomes an invalid trade. So what did price do? I got very lucky, by the way. But what did the price do? It came and it swept. The first sweep was over here. Started to sell off. But luckily, I wasn't here for any of this, because I would have definitely taken my trade over there. But price came all the way up in here. Now, when price came in there, this was where everything, the do or die, the make or break your trade, this is where it happens. Price came and it made this candlestick formation. Right? I took my entry right over here on this candle close. It's a very aggressive entry, because usually you want to wait for this next candle to form. That's your confirmation candle, right? But I entered right on this bearish close, right? And you can see price even came back and it tried to manipulate for buys. But in the point of interest, we are just waiting for price to sell. What did it do? It sold. And if you've been paying attention to this entire video, you'll note that there's another trade that happened lower over here. You could have added positions over here. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. Look, sweep, right? Let me use those two. What did price come and do, right? It's selling lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. But when it wanted to make a lower low, it disrespected and it swept. Your liquidity sweep is right over there. I hope you guys are seeing this. It's the same thing over and over and over again, right? We have that. So this becomes our protected high, right? What does price come and do? That's the same thing. Break structure over here, right? After a break structure, what does it do? It buys back into our 50% zone, right? Go to the 61.8 on the Fibonacci. What does it create? Structural liquidity. It is the same thing. Structural liquidity, right? What does it do? It goes back here, break structure. After price broke structure, what did it do? Right? It bought all the way back up from there. Swept. Enters our point of interest. It's the same thing, guys. Point of interest, where our sweep was, that becomes our point of interest. What does price do? Sells off from there. Boom. TP it. It's the same thing. Over and over and over again. It is just the same thing. Right? When price enters over here, where's our confirmation? This candlestick over here. Telling us, no, we're now selling. Right? You enter right over here. This is where you enter, right? You enter over there. What does price do? It just melts from there. Melts all the way to your TP. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. What is this strategy called? This is what we call the trading algo. You're mixing liquidity with market structure. It's the same thing, right? Nothing complicated. It's the same thing over and over and over again. But you need to master the shape. And funny enough, my student actually caught this trade over here. This one right over here. He caught it. Right? Why? Because it's the same thing that I keep teaching. And you need to open your eyes to this. You need to open your eyes to this. Right? I do have a mentorship program where I teach this. If you are interested in this mentorship program, you just DM me and I will teach you this. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Me placing all of those lots on that trade is because I knew where price was now going from here. I barely got any drawdown. For my entry candle, barely got any drawdown. And price just melted all the way to my take profit. This was my take profit over here. This low over here. My TP. And lucky enough, if I was actually online, I would have seen this trade over here. And I would have added more positions. Could have done a $6 to 1,000. Right? It's the same thing. Over and over and over and over again. For those that don't understand trading at all, and this was maybe new information to you, I understand. You need to learn the basics of trading, the basics of market structure. Trust me, once you learn the basics, this whole thing over here, it will be a walk in the park for you. For all my intermediate traders, I hope you understand why you've been getting stopped out your whole life, because you don't understand market structure and you don't understand liquidity. Once you learn this for yourself and you learn this movement, can you see how this over here, this whole thing, looks exactly like what happened previously up here? It's the same thing. When price is downtrending on the higher time frames, this is what will be happening. Now look at where price is going. It's heading for its final stop over there. But what happens inside, that's how you find your entries. You get to master exactly where price is going. And you get to enter at the correct times. Somebody would have entered over here, thinking price is selling, just to get stopped out and then to see it fall. It's because you're not yet understanding liquidity and all of these liquidity grabs, because the market does this to manipulate people into taking trades. So I hope you guys understood that. Once you understand this, it's a walk in the park. Completely a walk in the park. I hope you guys enjoyed this trade breakdown. For those that still don't understand and who would like to know more about this strategy, DM me now. My mentorship is very cheap, by the way, because I make enough money, so I don't really need your money. But why do I charge? I charge you to take mentorship seriously. Free things, you just don't take it seriously. My mentorship program is $20 once-off payment. You pay once. I want you guys in there and out making money for yourselves. I don't want you paying me every month. That's crazy. A lot of mentors will be charging you $200-300 just for you to learn this simple information. $20 and you're in. I guarantee you that after a month, you'll be doing the same exact flips that I'll be doing. Same exact flips. So I hope you guys enjoyed this trade breakdown. There'll be more trade breakdowns to come. Again, for those that want to learn this strategy, you DM me. I'm telling you, you will become good at this strategy. It's the same thing over and over and over again. But for you to learn this in depth, you need somebody to be there giving you this skill from its deepest core. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.